Again, good evening, fellow Ambazonians. I'm so sorry for the technical difficulties we are having here in the studio. But again, I'm glad to come back to you. Good evening if you're on ground zero. Good evening or good afternoon if you are anywhere in the USA. On ground zero, I know for sure it is good evening. In Europe, I know for sure it is also good evening. In Asia, probably good night. But again, I'm glad to have you here in the studio with me. I'm glad to have you here on the screen with me. I am very excited about the message that I bring to you today from your interim government pertaining to the elections that took place in French Cameroon last Sunday. I want to encourage each and every one, please invite your friends, hit the share button. I will sit here for about 10 minutes for those watching through the social media to get on board the broadcast. So please, if you have just joined, go ahead, hit that share button, and invite others to join. I want to be able to make sure that everybody who wants to listen to this broadcast live is here with us. So please go ahead and hit that share button. Go ahead, hit that share button. Invite everybody to be part of the broadcast. Again, I will take 10 minutes to wait for that to happen. Thank you very much. Again, thank you for joining the broadcast. Good evening, those of you from Ground Zero. It's a pleasure to come into your home today with this very special broadcast. Again, I'm coming to you to speak on the subject of last weekend's elections in French Cameroon. I also have a very important announcement to make in respect to the lockdown, the 10-day lockdown that we instituted a week ago. Maybe I should just say it right now. Beginning tomorrow, starting tomorrow the 10th of October, you Ambazonians, you are free to go out for regular business. That is message for you from your interim government. Again, starting tomorrow, you are okay, you are free to go out for your regular business. So please, pass the news around. Shops can be open, business as usual, but we want everyone to remain very, very vigilant. Every one of you remain very, very vigilant. You did a great job. You did an awesome job stopping French Cameroon from conducting elections in our country. And I want to let you know, we here at the interim government deeply appreciate it. I am going to bring you the broadcast, the presentation right away. We cannot get Facebook to work. I'm sorry. If you were expecting to watch this on Facebook, maybe you will have to get it later. But I cannot keep Ground Zero waiting. I cannot keep Ground Zero waiting. I would have to do the presentation. This is television, of course, and you don't keep television waiting. I will bring you the presentation as I prepare it. Thank you again for tuning in. And fellow Ambazonians, good evening. I come to you today to address three vital issues. Number one, the uncertainty surrounding the fate of our President, Sisiku Julius Ayoktabe, and the 9 other leaders held with him. Number two, the successful boycott of French Cameroon elections in our territory. And number 3, I will be speaking on what lies ahead. That is, call it the road ahead after the successful boycott of French Cameroon elections. A week ago, we brought to you impeccable intelligence we received of plans by Paul Biya's regime to assassinate our President, Sisiku Julius Ayoktabi, and the 9 other leaders detained with him. The assassination, we learned, was planned to take place just before French Cameroon elections, precisely on October the 5th. Right after we received the information, we made sure it was passed into the ears of the president and the other 9 leaders being detained with him. A few days after we got the piece of information, we observed a certain change in the pattern of behavior in the guards in SED, the facility where Sisiku was being held or is being held. Visitors who had been visiting them began to complain that they were being turned back each time they showed up to visit with the detainees. They said gendarmes guarding the facility would tell them to go back and come on a different day. Essentially, the visitors were being sent away, and such visits became irregular. Previously, visitors had been allowed to see them once a week, every week, at least, for those who were on their visitors list. A number of guests on their list of regular visitors were no longer allowed to see them on a weekly basis. The last time somebody saw or visited them was since last Wednesday, that is October the 3rd. Other visitors who were on schedule to visit them on Thursday and Friday, that is last Thursday and last Friday, were sent away. Some of them have reported that the manner in which they were sent back was very disturbing as well as suspicious. They have said that the guards or gendarme officers on duty would literally walk them out of the compound, out of SED, and make sure they got into a taxi cab before they took off. Yesterday, Monday, October the 8th, those who went to the detention facility to visit the president and others reported that they too, like those previously reported, were denied access to President Sisiku. They have said that they were instructed by the gendarmes guarding the facility that going forward, visits to Sisiku and the other detainees have been indefinitely suspended, and no reasons were given for the action. Now, this certainly is a very troubling development. We have no idea whether they are alive or not. At this moment, considering the threats of execution with a timeline of October the 5th that was already leaked out, the interim government is worried about the fate of the leaders, and of course, every Ambazonian should be worried as well. We note that they have no access to lawyers for a long time now. Not even lawyers who filed the habeas corpus petition on their behalf have been allowed to see them or meet with them. Sisiku and others had protested and refused to meet or see French Cameroon government appointed lawyers who were forced upon them during some organized interrogations on the grounds that they had the right to pick their own attorneys. The French Cameroon refused them that right. And so in protest, Sisiku and the rest severed all ties with the government lawyers. Lawyers who filed the habeas corpus for their immediate release have never spoken to them, talk less of meeting with them. At this moment, only La République du Cameroon knows what is happening to our leaders, and should anything happen to them, Paul Biya and the regime will be held responsible. At this moment, the interim government is still hoping that come Thursday, the 11th, when they are supposed to show up in court for the habeas corpus appeal hearing, that we shall see them. However, it's not going to be business as usual if they are not seen and if their whereabouts remain unknown. We are asking every Ambazonian, both in the diaspora and at home, to get ready. Get ready for an all-Ambazonian insurrection. Any moment, any time from now, should anything happen to our leaders. We have braved more than enough guns and bullets already to coward and stay in the comfort of our homes. Why the fate of our President Sisiku and others remain unknown. Again, they are supposed to be appearing in court on Thursday, a day from today. We are tempering our wrath with patience till Thursday. We will come back to you with a planned action. In the meantime, we ask that you keep them in your prayers. Let's all wait and see. Now to the election and the boycott of last Sunday, fellow Ambazonians. If we have ever sent a message about our resolve to sever all political ties with French Cameroon, if the world has ever heard and seen our resolve to be self-governing, they saw it last Sunday. From the Mongo through to every town, village, and quarter to Nkambe, you all sent that one message that Ambazonia is for Ambazonians, and that we now dictate our own destiny, and that French Cameroon no longer has any legitimate authority over us and our territory. You on ground zero told the whole world that you have your own government, your interim government, your own president, and your own leaders from whom you take instructions. You told the world that neither Paul Biya nor President-elect Kamto is your president, and that the French Cameroon flag has no more right of space to fly our skies. On behalf of the entire interim government, please accept a big congratulation, a big thank you to Fako, thank you to Meme, thank you to Indian, thank you to Bakassi, thank you to Kupe Maneguba, thank you to Lebialem, thank you to Mezam, thank you to Bue, thank you to Ngoke Tunja, thank you to Ndonga Mantum, thank you to Momo, and of course, thank you to Menchum. Thank you to Boyo, and may God bless and sustain your courage and your resilience. If French Cameroon and its leaders didn't get the message of October 1st, they surely got this one of last Sunday. We equally extend our heartfelt appreciation and another big thank you to our restoration forces who braved the streets of Ambazonia to defend our territorial integrity against the intruders and provocateurs of French Cameroon to force their election on us. We thank God for you, and we continue to pray that He continues to protect you, guide you, give you wisdom, and instill more courage and bravery upon you all. Some among you, some of our bravest restoration forces were cut down during the election resistance. We feel the pain in their families and loved ones. However, may you rest comforted by the fact that they died doing just what they vowed to do, to defend and to fight for a free Ambazonia. We feel the pain of their wives, the pain of their children, their sisters, their brothers, and their parents. Our promise to you, our heroes, and to your family is that by God's grace, after He has delivered Boya into our hands, we shall never forget about you and the sacrifice you died for. Our streets and parks shall be decorated with monuments that remind generations yet unborn of your sacrifice. Yours shall never be forgotten. Rest in peace. About the victory of Professor Maurice Kamto in the French Cameroon elections of last Sunday, the acting president, Dr. Sako, on the evening of the vote, when it had become obvious that Professor Kamto was winner of that election, sent a congratulatory message to him. In the message, Dr. Sako reminded President-elect Kamto of the sovereignty of the two countries and urged, the urgent need for the unconditional release of our leaders in French Cameroon detention centers and the need to pull out French Cameroon troops from the southern Cameroon's territory. Of course, Dr. Sako was by no means endorsing the vote because none of it took place in our territory. What Dr. Sako did is what foreign leaders do when their neighbors conduct successful elections. I guess the questions many want to get answered now are, how does the election of Professor Kamto play into the current state of our revolution? Are we going to suspend the revolution to test his own goodwill, to give him a chance to call for dialogue or negotiate with his government? That is, a bare hands power to him? The answer to these questions is simple. We have said again and again, and let me say it again now. We ceased from being part of French Cameroon since October 1st, 2017. The boycott of their elections last Sunday should act as a reminder to it and speaks to that fact that there isn't any situation under which we will suspend the revolution to dialogue or negotiate with anyone, not even with the United Nations. If anything, what we should remember vividly is that Professor Kamto is a product of the same system, the BS system that has strangled our people and our territory for years. Professor Kamto comes from the Bamileke tribe, the tribe that gave hundreds of millions. We should remember, they gave hundreds of millions francs to Biya to use in sponsoring the war that has seen our brothers and sisters, our mothers and our fathers maimed and displaced. Kamto never condemned it. Professor Kamto, in his victory proclamation yesterday, just couldn't as much as acknowledge the fact that we are more than two geographical cardinal points, which is simply referred to as the Northwest and the Southwest, or Anglophones. Does anyone really think Professor Kamto is that naive and ignorant as not to know we detest those Northwest, Southwest Anglophone appellations? When they choose not to recognize us for who we inherently are, they call us Northwesterners and Southwesterners, or as simply as Anglophones. Professor Kamto should be reminded that we detest those labels. We are not mere Northwesterners and Southwesterners. We are Southern Cameroonians, or call it Ambazonians. Until Professor Kamto begins to use the rightful designations in referring to us, any pretense that he would want to resolve the present conflict should be seen just as another plot to continue the colonization and subjugation of all of us, as in the days of Ahijo and Bia. Hell no, we are not giving up now. We are not about to lay down our defenses. We are not about to look back. We are not about to return to the vomit. Freedom is sweet. Who tastes it and let it go? Professor Kamto has not come anywhere near convincing us we can sit on same table with him for some form of negotiation. Not that he doesn't seem to have a good understanding of the problem. No. The problem is he, like Paul Biya, are of the same school. They both have just the same solution, a one and indivisible Cameroon. That's why all he did yesterday was to promise the release of our leaders and some compensation to those who have been hurt in the conflict. He carefully avoided mentioning the word Southern Cameroons or Ambazonia. In fact, he has referred to us as secessionists. During his election, he said the solution to the conflict is a 10-state federation. That means when you put down the proceeds from Sonara, they are divided into 10 or will be divided into 10. You put down the proceeds from the CDC, they are divided into 10. You put down proceeds from Pamo. And what about the proceeds from our timber? They will be divided into 10 because they want 10 states. And guess who will continue to manage those corporations? And where the corporations will continue to pay taxes? Of course, La République du Cameroon. That will never happen again. We have no love for even a two-state federation. That moment is gone. We are resolved that nothing short of our own country, a free and independent Federal Republic of Ambazonia, shall satisfy us. You can count on this interim government for that. Fellow Ambazonians, please shine your eyes. Do not be deceived by the humble and subdued looks of Professor Kamto. You never can read the hard construction on the face. Shine your eyes. See who is standing right behind Professor Kamto. It's a Muna. Another Muna. Akere Muna. We are literally back to the era of pre-unification politics, when Muna the father betrayed Foncha, and in extension, the rest of us all, for mere greed and position with Ahijo. Here we are at the verge of reclaiming what Muna traded us all for, our independence, and another Muna shows up. Guess what he is talking about? Akere Muna is talking about a 10-state federation, of course, like Kamto. This country, Ambazonia, must now, once and for all, cast behind, reject this generational bad luck that is the Munas to our faith. From Tandem Mona to Ben Mona, Amma Mona, and now Akere Mona. Shine your eyes. When you think for a second of tolerating Kanto, see the Mona standing behind or next to him and ask yourself, what good can come from a Mona? Having said that, we welcome Professor Kanto as President-elect of French Cameroon. We wish him well and hope that beer doesn't steal the victory from him as in 1992 with the SDF. Should that happen, we hope Kanto would have learned from the case of Ivory Coast years ago to rally the Bamilekis together to fight and retain that which is theirs. The Federal Republic of Ambazonia looks forward to a cordial relationship with Kanto's Cameroon and sitting down to discuss how to formally part our ways. In the first week of Kanto's takeover, we expect him to release all Ambazonians in illegal custody in French Cameroon. We expect him to pull out all French Cameroon troops from our territory and withdraw all their administrators too. Should Kanto fail to do this and lay any claim whatsoever on an inch of our territory and our people, maybe the claims that not all Ambazonians want independence, then we shall challenge him to a United Nations-sponsored referendum on the question of our sovereignty. Fellow Ambazonians, God is fighting for us. Let's go to bed tonight taking what has happened in French Cameroon as yet another milestone that pushes us closer to that great reunion day in Boya. Our resolve to prosecute this war and take back our land remains unshaken. Never you think of giving up. God bless you. God bless Ambazonia. We must live free or die fighting. No Ambazonia, no French Cameroon. Good night.
Hey! Epi Fontier Asodlitia Ojong Bayane Yakomo Ayanga Fianyo Manto Mango. Oh no! Aneme Kongo Yikachimanyoba Hetamane Maringa me Kongo Yi Aneme Kongo Yikachimanyoba Nerekere Waringa me Kongo Yi Aneme Kongo Yikachimanyoba Madam Tisoringa me Kongo Yi Aneme Kongo Yikachimanyoba Nerekere Waringa me Kongo Yi Eretimo Etandu Momanyu Kwaiga Tibo. Oh no! Ha! Samuel Ebevanga le prophète de la sape. Akong mama Regina Ndangachem. Aneme Kongo Yikachimanyoba. Etamane Maringa me Kongo Yi. Aneme Kongo Yikachimanyoba. Nerekere Waringa me Ndoko Yi. Aneme Kongo Yikachimanyoba Fotabe. Madam Tiswaringa me Kongo yo. Aneme Kongo Yikachiman Binjonga. Nerekere Waringa me Kongo Yi. Ha! My Erotimo. Manamaringa me Kongo Yi. Erotimo. My Erotimo. Nerekere Waringa me Noko Yi. Erotimo. Ha! Bridget Ntiaba Sam Mbiwan. Akong Mr. Mbiwan. Oh no! Etandu Momanyu Achikwai. Ha! Amenyo menkore are kanju ame. Anemanyo mengese yu ake menkore. Amenyo menkore are kanju ame. Ndebe kwa ma mengese mekenjubewe. Amenyo menkore are kanju ame. Atuba atuba se amengese me korewe amenyo me kore are kanjua me ndebe kwa amengese me kenjubewe are kanjua me atuba se amengese me korewe are kanjua me ndebe kwa amengese me kenjubewe. Ha! Dr. Esim Daniel, oh no! More for tabe. Oh no! Ekongoya, Ekongoya, oh, Matumangoy. Ekongoya, Kwane. Ekongoya, oh, Matumangoy. Ikeme konga, machekame. Lydia Ojong konga, machekame. Ikeme konga, machekame. Ikeme konga, machekame o. Ayoga tu. Oh no, comfortable. Ah. Onga ne wo konga, obinga bamba. Onga ne wo konga, obinga bota. Onga ne wo konga, oje nenye manye. Onga ne wo konga, oje manye manyu. Onga ne wo konga, oke pinga togo. Onga ne wo konga, obinga nerekero. Oboso. Ha. Itandu momanyu achikwa. Onga ne wo konga, obinga nerekero. Okwesa ne wo konga, obinga bomba. Onga ne wo konga, oje nenye manye. Onga ne wo konga, oje mamanyu. Ha! Lo sapin magique Samuel Ebebanga. Ah! Eban good luck, Taboti, mon ami personnel. Hey! Ikeme konga, machekame. Ikeme konga, machekame. Ikeme konga, machekame. Ikeme konga, machekame. Onga ne wo konga, ombinga bama. Onga ne wo konga, ombinga botai. Oh no! Ompesa ne wo konga, onche nenye manye. Ompesa ne wo konga, okie pinga togo. Onga ne wo konga, onga rabo nepe. Onga ne wo konga, ombinga banoa. Ikeme konga, machekame. Ikeme konga, epe puntia. Ikeme ojong. Oh no! Ikeme konga, machekame o. Akongoyi. Ekadu momanyu. Ikeme konga, machekame. Ikeme konga, machekame. Ikeme konga, machekame. Ikeme konga, machekame o.